we on? For some reason, our... Yeah, there we go. All right, what's happening? Discord, what are you doing?
We got...
There we go, we're back. Something happened.
We're back. We're off and we're on and
guys?
we're in and we're out.
Hey, look, if you can't see us, you can still hear us. It's all that matters. But boys, welcome back to the AFL, HFD Afl podcast, the best podcast that covers the AFL. Johnny G and
the King of the North.
The King of the North. There we go. Love doing that. Hey, how are you, boys? How's your evening going?
G'day, mate.
That was a bit lackluster.
Oh, I was waiting
Going well. I thought Johnny was going to say something there, but I don't want to be talking over the top of him. But no, going good. Had a good weekend of footy. Couple of watch-alongs. Weather's been horrible, but Adelaide just put it on for everybody. So yeah. What do you reckon?
That was gather round was awesome. So I thought it was great. Adelaide showcasing how good it is as a host. Loved it. And the big announcement was that it's coming back here for 3 more years. 3 more years. 2 me Lord.
Wow. That's sensational.
Yeah, so 3 more years, guys. Adelaide turned it up.
That's fantastic news, isn't that? Fantastic news.
It is.
I think next gather round I'm going to take the weekend off and just enjoy the whole gather round and get the weekend pass and go nuts.
Yep. Well, that'd be fantastic.
It was a bit hard as well because it was Greek Easter. Like me and Johnny, we got Greek background, so we were a bit tied up with the Greek Easter. So whoever is Greek in the chat, Christos Anesti, Alithos Anesti. Hope you had a good Easter. But yeah, that kind of I could have still gone to the games, but yeah, it was a lot happening this weekend for us. So, and I'm sure that would have been the same for you, Johnny G.
Yeah, flat out weekend. I was working as well. Took the night off tonight for Greek Easter and to be here with everyone doing the podcast, the AFL wrap up.
Yeah, I'm a bit full at the moment. I've eaten like half a horse today, so.
I don't know, man. I'm stuffed, man.
The two boys are chock-a-block full. I might have to finish the show off because they'll be just laying on the ground in pain. So.
Now, I don't know about you guys, right? But when I look at Con's background, I feel like he's in a library somewhere. Am I right? Are you in the library?
Mate, I should have a beret on and a scarf because I'm like a Melbourne toff with me library in the background. So.
Like you got every book of every AFL great in that bookshelf right now.
That's it.
Well, guys, what a round it was. It was living in Adelaide. It was just weird having every game here and every team was here. So it was really cool to see. And it was, I reckon playing in those suburban grounds like Mount Barker and Norwood, that looked fantastic, especially Norwood Oval looked really good. And apparently Lockie Neal reckons that Mount Barker was better surface and better to play on than the MCG. I mean, that's
wow.
It's a big call. So,
they've done some dodgy stuff with the MCG ground after the Ed Sheeran concert. They ripped it up and then put it back down again. And the players say that the ends and the sides are firm and the middle section is really soft. So it's really harder to play on and they're getting more injuries. So that's why he would have been mentioning that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's what he said. So, good on.
Oh, the ground looks sensational.
Yeah, no, good on for the Premier, like bringing it here, and good on him.
He's a star, that bloke. He's a star.
Yeah, to get that festival here, I mean, it made 88. I think they said on the news, $88 million they made over the weekend, like SA. That's how much money it generated. So, definitely a success, and can't wait for next year. It's gonna be awesome. Got a few people in the chat. You got Chris Beach saying good evening to everybody. It's a bit upset that Carlton lost, but you can't.
G'day, Chris. We'll be back.
And GT23 goes, the boys are back. Johnny G and Connor doing the heavy lifting lately, just saying. We have been doing the heavy lifting, but we will be back with KP on Wednesday, I'm pretty sure, for a proper podcast. So stay tuned for that. Norwood was packed.
GT23.
Anyway, let's get into it. Now, we didn't do the 10K and 10 bets, but make sure this week, we're going to do it this week. Make sure you guys follow. Johnny G is doing the 10K and 10 bets. So, Johnny, you reckon
we're going to crack it. And
normal rounds again. So, yeah.
Normal rounds. I'm going to focus on grounds that I like, fast-paced grounds, and good teams that get high possessions. So, we're going to do it. Take it easy this time.
Let's do it, guys. So, all right. So, we're going to go through the games. The first game was one we did a watch-along. The King of the North, Johnny G, sat down and watched this one together. It was the Adelaide Crows versus the Carlton Blues. What a win by the Crows, 118-62. Johnny G, give us the lowdown.
I mean, what can you say in this game? I believe the first quarter put the nail in the coffin. Carlton could never get back into this game after that first quarter. We blew them out the water. Yep. I think we scored 8 goals to 2. I think it was almost 8 goals straight at one stage. We were kicking that good. Yeah, I mean, we just come out the blocks firing. Big players like Laird, Dawson, and Jones had huge games, even Duday and Hinge down back. And we really restricted Carlton from getting the ball too much. I mean, Walsh, good to see him back. He got a goal and 25 assists. But after that, the boys struggled to get posies, and we killed him in nearly every stat, the Crows. So, look, I'm not going to toot the Crows too much because I'm so biased towards them, but I feel like finals are coming, and I think we're a team to be, to be worried about. I think our fast-paced, the way we close down teams. I mean, we're looking good, boys. We're looking good, and I know Carlton were undefeated until they met us, and I don't reckon they're too keen about the gather rounds.
No, and yeah, it was we did the watch along. It was a really good night just watching along, and first time I'd seen Adelaide play this year, and they were just so impressive all over the ground. They're big, they're strong, they're fast, and yeah, good on you, Johnny G. You've got one hell of a team there, and you just put Carlton to the sword in that first quarter. They just, like you say, you blew them off the ground. So they've been really, week after week after week, I've been watching them in Melbourne, and they've been fast and they're hard on the ball, and they look like they didn't even turn up. So that's just full credit to your side, and just such a great game plan against them, and they didn't even get close. So 20 points was as close as they could get. So, yeah, fantastic effort by Adelaide, and they're going to beat a lot of teams this year, no doubt.
Yeah, appreciate it, because we've been building, you know what I mean? Like, we're the type of team where we're getting those players to get in that 50-game mark, and they've been, gelling together for quite a while. We've been building to this point. And the problem with the Crows is we could never put 4 quarters together. We'd have 1 or 2 great quarters, and the other 2 would be, not as great. But now we're starting to string a full game together, and if we can make consistency be the key for the Crows now, would really push for that top 8 spot, And,
cool.
And you never know how far you can go in this, it's football in these days right now. It's anyone could beat anyone, really. And, if you put 4 quarters together like the Crows do, with the pressure they can do, you'll go far in this competition. So
that's it. Yeah.
Crows are looking good.
Well done. Yeah. Well done, the Crows.
Well, what I reckon is, like, the Crows, no. Listen, when you look when you look at them as a list, like, there's not many stars on that list, really. Like, you go on
up and coming stars.
Yeah, definitely up and coming. But when you look at their list, like, apart from their forward line, like, their midfield hasn't got many stars, in the back line, it's not about their stars. It's not about that. It's about their system. Their systems that they're using are working amazingly, and they're putting people to the sword, like, great. Like they're just putting teams to the sword really early in games, really pressuring, and sometimes you don't need the stars. Like you look at Bulldogs. They've got Bontempelli. They got Liberatore. McRae. Yeah, they've got they've got all these stars in there, so you expect them to be like, they're a good oiled unit. But you look at the Crows. I mean, there's no names in there. You know what I mean? So maybe Sloane's the only one, but
old stars. You know what I mean? We got up and coming.
Up and coming. So like, what I'm saying is, I just think they're doing really well with what they've got, and Nix has done a fantastic job with what he's got, and
I think so.
They're playing amazing. They're playing amazing football. They don't have to have stars to play. So,
and Tex and Sloan are the only two that are big name previous stars. So
you got Rankin in there. That's a top 5 draft pick. So he's really good. And that's about really that's all their stars. You got Dawson. I mean,
I think Rochelle was a first rounder, but not a high first rounder.
Yeah. So. So Dawson,
Phil Thorpe was a high draft pick as well.
So Dawson, Phil Thorpe, all those players, but they haven't really come of age. Those Phil Thorpes, Fogarty now is becoming a better player, but compared to other teams,
Dawson in the midfield's been a revelation. You know what I mean? He's turned into that big body midfielder that we've been missing, 100%. And he got, I think, best on ground against Carlton men just about. So
it just goes to show that if you've got a good system in place, you don't have to have stars. You just got to play your role and play it to the best of your ability, and that's what they're doing, man. So, and they know how to grab it. They just know how to I don't know. If they keep going, that could be scary. I don't know. It's a scary proposition. I out of every team I watched on the weekend, I think they were the best performing out of every team.
Yeah,
and that's that. I'm a Port supporter saying that, so that's a big thing for me to say. I'll pretty much watch I didn't watch every game fully, but I reckon they were the best performing out of everyone. The only other game that I reckon was close to them was Essendon. That's the only one. But other than that, the Crows. If you're a Crow supporter, and Johnny, you are, you got to be very happy in the way they're travelling. And finals is definitely not out of the question. Definitely. So if you play like that, I mean, look, wait till you get to. I want to see how they go in Melbourne. They've played here for 4 weeks now, so we'll see what happens. But if they keep playing like that, mate, you just don't know.
So, do you reckon KP will give Nix the credit he deserves?
Has to. You cannot deny the credit. You cannot, and you got to be patient with these things sometimes. You can't just think that they're going to be, top team straight away. Like they lost a lot of players, man, out of that 2017 team. So you can't. Just things are going right for them as well. Everything's going right. They haven't got many injuries. They've got a lot of players to pick from.
Yeah.
And the youngsters are all stepping up. Their forward line looks amazing. Fogarty looks like he can score a drop punt from anywhere around the 50.
He's got that old school kicking motion that's just really good. Really good.
And Rankin's just Rankin. What's the other number 8? What's his name? Rochelle, yep. Yeah, he's a gun. They're just
he goes from midfield to forward. Yeah, it's good. Right. Yeah.
So, and you look back on Carlton. I don't know. Carlton.
They'll be back.
Yeah,
they'll be back.
Look,
they just got towed up, and it's a good lesson for them because they were 4-0, and they probably were getting a bit cocky as well. So it's good to get a bit of a towel up from a team that they weren't expecting, and it'll be a good lesson for them.
Yeah, I picked Carlton. I did pick them to win, but not by any. Did not think they were going to, but Carlton. They look slow in a lot, especially that first quarter. Just looked really slow, very slow. And they had pretty much everyone playing apart from Sam Doherty. So it's not like they had big outs. So
Yeah,
No, just showed how good the Crows were on
so
the
you got to
night.
give him credit.
Just-
Chris
Yep.
Beach reckons, bang on Johnny GEG. We were murdered early and couldn't get going. It was also the same three that killed us as well. It was Tex, Fogarty, Keys, who were also well supported by Laird and Dawson. And then we got a hello from Ukraine. I don't even know how that. I don't know how you say
So
that.
this is Kola, my mate in Ukraine, and welcome Kola to the chat and the podcast.
Welcome.
He's watching in from Ukraine tonight, so make him feel welcome, guys.
There you
all
go,
the way from
guys.
Ukraine. That's amazing.
Yep.
If you want to support a team, support Port Adelaide, all right? So.
No, don't listen to them. Support the
Oh
Crows,
my god.
Before we move on to the next game, just a quick yes or no. I'll start with you, Chris, first. Crows, top 8, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Almost.
Yes.
Which Chris?
That's fantastic.
I mean, look, it's still early days, but like what I'm seeing, if I'm saying that was the best performance of the whole round, then yeah, definitely they keep playing like that. But there's, teams that there's going to be times where they're going to be threatened, like challenged. So yeah, like you got to look at their first games. You know what I mean? Like how they lost those games as well. Like GWS beat them. That was a hot day. Maybe you can say that. But then Richmond. You know what I mean? They should have won those games. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, if they can fall back into those traps, I don't know. They're still a young team. So, can they have the legs to go all the way? It remains to be seen. But, yeah, definitely top 8. Like, I think from here,
sure. Yeah. I'm not going to say top 4. I'm not going to say top 4 yet, but...
Not top 4 yet, no. But what do you reckon? What do you reckon,
Possibly.
Johnny? What's your prediction? What do you think?
Well, I predicted them to be in the top 8 before the start of the year. I feel like top 4, like you said, I won't be going too crazy saying top 4 yet, but I do believe, if we can keep this up, top 8 will be easy. So I'm not sure if we're just going to be making up the numbers in the finals, but we'll have to wait till September time, I guess.
You guys got a really young list, so depends if they can go the full distance. Which, because some, I've seen it happen before where teams doing really well in the beginning and then it falls off during the end because they just run out of steam. So
yeah, well, that's what you got to worry about with a young team, obviously. So
correct. So that's the only worry I have with them. But other than that, if they play like they play now and can sustain it, then definitely top 8. And who knows, top 4. They look good, man. So
yeah,
don't know. We'll see what happens.
And that was Carlton last year as well. Like they were young as well. They're a very young team as well. And last year they run out of steam at the end. But it's good. It's good experience for this year, and they get more games under their belt.
I think when you look at the Crows from this year and the Carlton from last year, I think Crows look like a top. The way they're playing like a top 4 side. Carlton were playing like a top 8 side. They were never playing like a top 4. So they're like Crows are actually playing like a top 4 side would play. They're smashing teams. Carlton were not smashing teams last year. They were they were winning, but not like the way the Crows are handing out over 100 points each game. Like that's huge numbers, man. Like they're getting over the 100 every game. Mate, I'm telling you now, it's scary times. If you're a Port supporter, be scared that the Crows are gonna,
Don't be scared, Chris. It's okay.
Anyway, about the Crows. Enough about the Crows. Well done, Johnny. Well done. But the next game was on the Friday night. It was
pretty much Friday afternoon. This one.
Freo versus the Suns. It was at Norwood Oval, the first game ever played at Norwood Oval for 4 points. It was a close affair. Freo got the chocolate to the end, 100-90. I thought the Gold Coast did really well in this game. Like they were in front a lot of the time.
Yeah, majority of the time they were. Yeah, majority. They were.
So they played really well, and I actually tipped Gold Coast, so I thought they were going to win, but Yeah, it wasn't to be. So
Yeah,
I know
I mean,
Swallow is Swallow still there? Who's getting a lot of the
yeah,
ball?
he actually had a good game, Swallow, with 20 posies and 3 goals.
Yeah,
Sarong was the big standout for Freo. He had a big game at Norwood with 37 touches. He was everywhere. I think he's really taken on that Brayshaw role that Brayshaw had last year. I think Brayshaw, I don't know, he's gone like on a wing sort of role sometimes in the midfield.
yeah,
But I reckon Sonny Walters had his best game for Freo in a long time, kicking 4 goals. He was the inspiration of
yeah.
getting Freo over the line. Schultz looked good down there too.
Yeah,
But
I like Schultz.
yeah, I mean, what do you say about Gold Coast? Really, you know what I mean? They just
They play in patches. Like they're not terrible, but they're not like I think Lukosius like really played a good game.
He kicked 1 goal 4, so he had
Yeah.
opportunities. So he could have been the difference maker in this game, but
He
obviously he was inaccurate. So
Well, I was listening to it on the radio, and he had like his name was calling out every 5 seconds. Like he was everywhere where the ball was.
he had almost 20 touches, 18 kicks. So he was getting his meters gains, that's for sure. But 5 scoring shots and only kicking the 1 goal. He's not a natural forward, but they're trying him out at forward. He's not looking too bad doing that role. But I just feel like Gold Coast are in no man's land. You know what I mean? They're not improving. They're not really getting better. They're not getting worse. They're just
Stagnant.
They're just staggering. You know what I mean? So
and they're just going to. I think they're just going to upset a few teams this year. That like unexpectedly they're going to get a few wins along the way. But it's just Freo is very similar as well. Like you can't really find a form line for Freo either because they're going to struggle when they travel and they're just inconsistent. So I don't know whether it's going to be hard tipping both of these teams during the year for sure.
100%.
Yeah, no, I think Freo had to win that game. If they had lost that game, I reckon it was season over because they would have gone to like 1 win, 4 losses. I don't think now Gold Coast are making any run for finals. Well, they could, but it's very unlikely with the start they've had. But yeah, Freo's still in it. I don't think they just have I don't know. There's something really off about them this year.
Yeah, 100%.
Not the same team as last year. There's something I don't know, not clicking. They could have easily lost that game. So
100%. Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, Freo.
They lost to North Melbourne in Freo. You know what I mean? Like,
that's huge.
Just tells you where they're at. So
I don't know what's gone wrong there. I mean, who'd they lose? Loeb, and they got Luke Jackson in. I mean, he's played okay, but hasn't set the world on fire. But
he had one of his better games this week. But
I
don't know how much of the 5 factor is playing at Freo as well. So there was a lot of dissension last year. So who knows where that's at now?
Was 5 playing?
No, he's still out. But he hardly played last year, didn't he, Freo?
Yeah, they played better without him sometimes.
Well, there was quite a team upheaval about him even being there because they used to play. Basically the team played better when he wasn't there, and he was like a prima donna sort of when he was on there. Everything was about Fife, and it really got to the team. So there was quite a bit of dissension between all the players and him. So yeah,
I heard that too.
He can't get back to his best with those injuries and
sad because he was a good player.
Yeah, when he's on back in the day, he was a star.
100%. But we've got a few chats here, man.
Read Dan Atmy's comment, Chris. You'll love it.
Let the Crows segment start. We've already covered the Crows, man. You got to go back. You got to go back, man. Far out, damn. You're
Let's go back and we'll revisit it, for damn.
That's right.
Far out. Lukosius is coming to the Crows. No, he's coming to Port, mate. Take it easy. Actually, if you got Lukosius, that would be huge get. But I want him to come.
No, I think the Crows are in the hunt for Redmond from Essendon.
Oh, yeah, he's
I've
good.
heard.
Chris Beach reckon, how good was it to see footy in the suburbs packed out both days? Norwood had games 100%. It was awesome.
Yeah, can't wait for Gav around next year. I'm gonna really enjoy it and get involved
for sure. And Freo will beat Port by 60. Is he? Don't have me on drugs, mate. You're on drugs.
I hope so.
Good on you, Dad. Happy
By 60. Every team is going to beat Port by 60.
It's the only margin he's got.
60 or 600.
It's the only margin he's got. He will never put a 1 point margin on it. All right. Well, look, we're talking about Freo and the Suns, where they're just.
Are any of these teams making finals or not? Moving on. No.
I don't think so. Not the way Freo are going. I just don't think.
Freo maybe 9th or 10th, and I can't see the Suns even being in the up there.
Yeah.
You did say, Chris, we'll know where teams are at 5 games in. So.
Yeah, I don't think so. Freo don't look.
No idea.
Yeah, Freo.
Too early. It's too early.
Maybe too early, but Freo definitely
2 no's. I think.
2 no's for me. For now,
there's too many teams better than Freo. So
yeah,
correct.
There is.
There is. Yeah, so
probably 8 more teams better than Freo.
Now this is the next one. So Friday night footy at Adelaide Oval was the Tigers versus the Swans. This was actually a tight tussle until the last quarter, really. And it was Tim Pap. It was the Papley show with 6 goals. He was on fire.
He was on fire. Yeah.
And the Swans took the chocolates and that one's 78 to 122. Johnny, how'd you see this one play out, man?
I tipped Richmond in this one, but Richmond looked like they were in it until, every time Richmond actually got back in touching distance, we're talking 10 points, 6 points, Papley always just shut them down again and again and again. And like you said, this was the Papley show, and this I think is his best ever performance. He kicked the high. His highest was 5 goals in a match, and he kicked 6 goals in this one. So, man in the match. Pre-Brownlow votes for sure has gone to Papley in that one. Richmond, they're in trouble, man. I tipped them to do really well this year.
Yeah.
But geez, look, they may come good. I'm not writing them off yet for finals, but. Yeah, man, they need to get their act together. And Sydney was a big, important win after losing 2 on the trot. So Sydney deserved to win this match in the end. So
yeah, it was a wet weather match, wasn't it? It rained a bit on that Friday night. At the end, it did. Yeah, and that's when Papley just turned it on. Look, I don't know. Sydney are still dangerous. They're still a good side, and Richmond have lost. They just don't have the firepower. Like, who's going to score their goals? And Nan Curvis wasn't playing, and also, Tom Lynch wasn't playing. So huge outs. Pretty sure I saw Rewalt with a bloody face? I don't know what happened to him. But
he got an elbow in a tackle, and he got 12 stitches in his head. So
far out. That's crazy.
Yep.
So I think Hopper did really well. I think he had a good game. And
Hopper got 32 touches, Taranto 34, and Baker 35. So Richmond did get the ball, but they just Papley, man, it got the ball when it mattered. So
sure did.
Doesn't matter how many disposals you get. It all depends on the points on the board. So
yeah, it was a good game. It was a good game. For not 2 teams playing at Adelaide Oval was actually it was a great game. So could have gone either way, but as you said, Papley just turned it on, and that's the difference. So
yep.
Who's going to the finals, guys? Is Sydney making the finals? Richmond making the finals? What do you reckon?
I'm going to still say yes to both of these making the finals. I know it's out there for Richmond, but I still think they're just going to sneak in. I reckon Sydney makes finals still as well.
Yep, I agree. Still, both teams are still up there.
I don't agree. I think Richmond are going to fall out.
Yeah, I can see why.
I think
There's definitely an argument for both of those.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, look, they'll have to win a lot of games from here. Like, but
what are they? Are they 2 and?
They're
What
1
are
and
they?
4, I reckon.
1 and 4, yeah.
I mean, that's a long way back. So
They've played a lot of tough games, haven't they?
they have.
Yeah.
They haven't had the easiest start.
Depends when their stars come back.
Like they've played Collingwood, they've played the Bulldogs. You know, obviously they've got the win against Adelaide and they drew against Carlton.
Yeah.
So they haven't got the easy games yet. You know, the Hawthorns, the Essendons, the West Coasts and stuff. So
yeah.
The goal.
And we'll have to see whether Revolt's going to be an in or an out this week, because that was a big crack in the head. So we'll just have to see how he goes during the week. But you know, if I was the coach, I'd give him a rest for a week just to see. But and he'll probably have to do some concussion testing this week as well. So we'll see if he's out. Then whoever Richmond's playing this week will have a big advantage.
Yeah, no worries. There you go.
They just seemed to lose their way, didn't they? In the end, I watched the game and it was a good game, but they were
this
just
Sydney's
form, like Sydney's form against Port and who they're playing. I know they lost a couple, but they're a good across the field team, Sydney. So as always.
They would have been really upset dropping those points against Port. You know, they probably thought they shouldn't have lost that game, and they come out firing. So
no, I reckon Sydney definitely will make the 8, but Richmond, I'm not sold yet. So I mean they might, but I'm at this point I'm saying no. But all right, so the next game was on the Saturday. It was the Saturday afternoon game. It was in the Adelaide Hills at Mount Barker. It was the Lions versus the Kangaroos. A 75 point?
75 points.
75-point thrashing to the Lions, 152 to 77. It was a demolition job. I was watching this game a little bit, and I was actually walking, and I was listening to it on the radio. Kangaroos actually started really well, and it was kind of a shootout in the beginning. And it looked like it was going to be a really good game. But half time comes, and like the Brisbane are up by about 15 or 20 points, and then just blew them off the park in that second half. So disappointing to see for the North Melbourne Footy Club, because they been pretty tough going, and been a pretty solid unit up until that game. But Brisbane looked good. Brisbane turned it on, and their forwards were really, really good, especially Danaher and Hipwood. Hipwood, really good. So what do you reckon, guys? I think Lockie Neal had a big game as well. So
I've seen the Kangaroos a couple of times. I've seen them against Carlton as well, and I'm not surprised they started well against Brisbane. It's very much like a brand new team where they've got to put those quarters together, Johnny. And when you're not putting the last quarter, you're going to get flogged. So this is where the Kangaroos are at the moment. Where last week they put 3 quarters together and they fell away in the last. This time they've come up against opposition which are just like Brisbane are just a step above, and they've gone all right for a quarter, but then just put the medal down and that was it. So they're going to get flogged by the really good teams as they go, but it's a growth, and they're very young. So not surprising.
Yeah, I mean, this is Brisbane's best game of the year so far. This was the story of the of the forward line for Brisbane absolutely going nuts on Kangaroos. It was Clarko against his old mate Fagan. I think they had a few hugs before the game, but Neil had his best on ground as well, 37 touches. The youngster for North Melbourne still gets it done with 31 posies, which is amazing. He even kicked the goal for him. So, but their big stars had quiet games. And David Juniacki had a quiet game. Even Simpkin went off injured, so that didn't help the North Melbourne team at all. But yeah, Brisbane, they look good. They slammed them, and they were relentless. And this might put their season back on track. So there you go, the Brisbane Lions.
I like
Yeah.
Rayner's game was nice. It was a good game. He was really good up forward. And Cam Rayner and Cameron up forward was awesome. So
yeah, I mean, Danaher kicked 5, Hipwood 4, Cameron 4. I mean, that's huge for a forward line of forwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They kicked over 4 goals.
And Danaher could have scored more. Like I saw him miss a few shockers. So.
Yeah, 5 and 3 behinds he got. So he should at least got half a dozen. So,
but yeah, that was an awesome ground. Like, yeah, it was awesome to see footy up there.
yeah. So I didn't know Neil said it was better than the MCG, the pitch. So
Yeah, far out.
good on the Mount Barkians. And if you don't know where Mount Barkie is in Adelaide, it's a little bit out of Adelaide, just above the freeway there. Beautiful spot. And
Con would have driven past it when you drove to Adelaide.
yeah,
I did. Yep, I went through Norwood. Yep.
Not Norwood, Mount Barker.
Mount Barker.
Mount Barker. Yeah, no, I did. I did.
through
And Norwood as well.
Nah, you wouldn't have gone through Norwood, man.
I'm sure I've been past Norwood at some stage in my last 12 months.
That's near the city.
That's right. I was in the city all the time.
So Brisbane making the finals after that?
Look, I still want I still
Top 8.
I think we had them in our top 4 before the season started. So
yeah, I still want them to see if they can win in Melbourne. You know, I picked North Melbourne to win this game because I actually I know it's only one, but I'll tell you my reason. I just thought because they don't play well against away from home.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe
No, they weren't playing well away from home and they were getting beaten.
No,
so
I thought North Melbourne, because it's a new place, I think North Melbourne were going to be really a tough team to come up against. But wasn't to be. Wasn't to be.
You're just getting desperate. You're just getting desperate down there. That's why.
I am getting desperate. But, Brisbane to make finals, and North Melbourne are still in progress. Progress. So, anyway, next game.
This one's the upset of the round.
This was massive. Like no one picked Essendon. I think one person in our whole tipping.
One person picked
Essendon. The Bombers. Draper, what a legend. Bombers 104-77. What a game by the Bombers. Who would have thought that they would come over to Adelaide and beat the premiership favourites, Melbourne. It was a great win for them, and I was really happy for them because I've been saying their heads for a long time, but man, they played really well. So 4-quarter performance.
Everyone says that Essendon kept Oliver quiet, and somehow he ended up with 41 touches.
41 touches, far out.
It's amazing, but that 41 touches didn't feel like. I watched a lot of this game, and it didn't feel like he had 41 touches or he made any impact to the game. Essendon deserved this match 100%, and they worked as a team. And Draper was like you said, man, kicked 3 goals, and he was just inspirational to his team. This was a big team effort, very big team effort. A lot of single goal kickers from Essendon. They beat Melbourne, man, and
huge win, man. That's massive.
Essendon I think they're in the top 4, man. I don't know.
They're
I
top
check this
2.
ladder.
They're top 2, man.
Yeah, they're
they're
undefeated. 4 and
Yeah.
1. Is it 4 and 1?
No,
They're
they've,
second.
they've
They're
lost
second.
one. I think they lost one game.
One
Yeah.
game. 4
Well,
and
you
1.
can say they're
Yeah.
equal first with St Kilda, Essendon, and Collingwood, but
What a great start for those two teams. Yeah.
no one will predict Essendon up there like this. So
No.
No. I mean, Brad Scott, man, is it the coach? New coach, new philosophies, new. Like, who knows, man?
you'd
But,
think
no.
St Kilda is flying under the radar, but really Essendon are flying even more under the radar. And teams better pay attention now to the Bombers. So
They were just playing really good footy. Like, I was watching some highlights, and they were just like, just carving through the Melbourne defence really easily. Took a lot of marks in their 50. The thing with Essendon, I don't follow them, so it's hard for me to even know who the players are. I know Merritt and
Parrish
Draper,
and,
but a lot of the players, like, I don't know who they are. There's a guy called, is it Redmond?
the halfback, man. That's who the
Yeah.
Crows are looking at.
Yeah, he's a good player. Definitely. Yeah, they've improved, man. Like, I just didn't see it coming. Did not see this
A lot
coming.
of the players last year who you'd consider C graders have actually stepped up. Laverde back there and all that, and they're bringing Setterfield from Carlton, who's looking really good. He was a tagging role on Oliver for most of the match.
Yeah,
and Draper's. They love getting around Draper, man, and obviously you got the big guns of Parrish and Merritt in there.
yeah.
And McGrath, I think it's McGrath, number 1 for Essendon. He had a big game for them in the middle as well. So, they're flying under the radar, man. And Melbourne, where are they at? You know what I mean? With that kind of performance, they do well.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes, then they.
I don't know. Like, they're struggling without Gawn, I think. Like, as I said, he's the heart and soul of that team. Like, he's out. They're struggling, man. So,
but Grundy's been actually doing really well without him. So he's sort of trying to fill that ruckman's role pretty well.
Yeah.
But just his presence, like you said, might be affecting Melbourne.
Yeah, that's what I think. So, I mean, they've still got a good team, Melbourne. So, just, I don't know. I think, it's weird, isn't it? Weird to think that they beat Melbourne. Like, wow, what an upset.
There we go.
Yeah, good on them. Like, all the people that came over from Essendon that saw the game, like, they'll be ecstatic. If you're a Melbourne supporter, you wouldn't know what to think. So, but the good thing is, it's only round 5. Still got a lot of rounds to make it up. So, I still think Melbourne are finals worthy. Still think Melbourne are up there. Essendon, I don't know. Like, definitely could make the 8 if they keep playing like this. I don't know, but still, I think the Crows had the better performance, but they were very close to the second. If I was going to look at the best performances on the weekend, so Essendon, I reckon they could sneak into the 8 for sure. For sure, if they keep playing the way they're playing, and we'll see.
Well,
we'll see.
Before this round, we were all saying who's Essendon beaten. You know what I mean? And now they've beaten Melbourne.
I know.
Yeah,
Maybe that's just like we're thinking too far ahead. Like, they did beat Melbourne, but things had come off very quickly. So we'll see. They're a young side, man. So we'll see where they're at round 12, around those rounds, and then we can really see where they're going to be. But no, good on them. Good on them. I've got a few chats here, guys. So. I certainly.
Carl?
Chris Beach, no. So Chris Beach it's about 30 minutes out of Adelaide. They were saying, I think, Mount Barker. He's saying, yep. Draper, listen to this one. Don't have me. Draper reckons that Draper's going to the Crows. He thinks everyone's going to the Crows.
He does think everybody's going to the Crows tonight.
I'll take that.
Chris Beach goes, yep, I certainly didn't pick Essendon to be 4-1 after this. Yeah, 100%. Don't have me 41 clangers. I'm not sure he's talking about that, but The great man himself, Zakal, has joined the chat. Hi, Chris C, Johnny G, and King of the North, and everyone in the live chat. And go the
Congrats.
Sydney Swans and the Parramatta Eels. There you go.
Congrats on
Everyone
Sydney.
saying hello
Yeah,
to Zakal, and that's it. That's it. So, have we said everyone? Essendon, Melbourne. Who are you guys thinking?
Roosters had another shocker, Zakal. Just a bit of a rugby note for Zakal. So we got flogged again. So there we go.
I'm still on the fence. I'm still on the fence with Essendon making the finals, and I still think Melbourne make the finals. So
Still too early. It's still too early. It's only
but the
five rounds in.
problem that we got here, only 8 teams can make the finals. So
Yeah.
we know.
Even Port's got a shout now after their win. So
Well,
That's it.
the next game is the game of the round.
No. Here we go.
it's the game of the umpires.
You had your glory, Johnny G. So here he goes.
Here we
Look
go.
out.
So Port Adelaide versus the Bulldogs. Port Adelaide got it 70-56. What a game!
Did you say Port versus or umpires versus the Bulldogs?
I'll take it easy, man. They got more free kicks than us.
But only one extra. So.
Yeah, of course, mate. What do you mean the umpires? Where was it? Tell me which decision was wrong. Which one was wrong?
Oh man,
it was
I don't have enough time. I don't have
the
enough time on this show, so.
we did the watch along.
I don't care what anyone says. I think that was a gutsy performance from a team that was down and out, looked like they were going to lose, and then to come back and win like they did in the wet. Amazing job by Butters. Amazing last quarter by Jason Horne-Francis. Those two there. If it wasn't for those two.
Game so far?
Hey?
JHF's best game so far?
I think his best game was against Brisbane, but I reckon that quarter he had both Butters and Jason Horne-Francis had 11 touches. They had in that last quarter they had like 7 contested possessions. They were just all over it, man. I don't know what Kenny said to them at 3/4 time, but whatever he said sparked a bullet in their ass, and it
was impressive.
It was a very impressive win, and look, you got to look at that game like it was a tough game in those conditions, and Bulldogs looked good at some stages of that game, especially in that first half. Bontempelli had like 15 disposals in that first quarter.
Yep.
They look good. They look really good, and they just looked like they were going to steal it from us. And then I don't know, man. That kind of performance. This is what it means to me. All right. Now, a lot of people don't like Hinkley in that, but it tells me that the playing group are playing for the coach when you got a performance like that. So he has not lost the players at all. The players still believe in Ken, which is good. That's what you want. And, I don't know where we go from here. I'm not saying that we're going to win premierships or whatever. I still don't think that we're that good enough to do that. But it's a gutsy win, gutsy performance. And, great. I think it was one of the better wins we've had for a long time. Like, how many times have I seen a game like that and we go to lose it? You know what I mean? So, to win 2 in a row the way we've done it, and now we've got some easy game. Like I told you before, in the start of the season, we had 5 tough games. We had Brisbane, which we knocked off. We had Collingwood, who thrashed us. Right? We had the showdown. The Crows won that one, and then we had the Sydney and the Bulldogs. So to be 3-2. I thought we were going to be 0-5. Do you remember? I thought we were going to be that. I said that. So to be 3-2 is huge for Port. So congratulations to Kenny and that. To hang in there tough like that they did. Yeah, big congratulations. And those 2 players that I mentioned, fantastic game. And I think another stroke of genius is they took out Lysette from the ruck. They took a risk and took him out of the ruck to get more run through the midfield, and it paid off.
They actually subbed him out, didn't they?
They subbed him out. He wasn't injured. They just did it for more run through the midfield.
Yeah.
And
I was watching.
It worked.
We did the watch along for this one as well. Me and Chrissy, and we were watching Lysart, and he was just very slow getting to the ball and chasing down things. So I just don't know. He wasn't like when he was with West Coast. He wasn't that great either, but he's not very fast. He's just big and cumbersome, pretty much. So don't know what they're going to do with him unless he's not a great ruckman either. So we'll see. But this week, no Hesley, eh?
I thought good on him, and I don't know how you guys feel about the booing of Jason Horne-Francis. Now, a lot of people don't like him for what he left North Melbourne and that, but Ken Hinkley came out and said that it's disgusting what people are booing him for. Like, he's just a kid, 19 years old. Look, I think it's ridiculous people are booing him, but you can't stop that, right? If I was him, embrace the booing, man. Embrace it. And
you
at the
can't
end of the day,
be
embrace it, and then make that a fire in your belly, and then prove them all wrong, mate. And that's what you did in that last quarter. So good on you, and
you gotta accept booing and criticism when you're a professional athlete.
Oh,
so
of course. But the guy's hasn't done anything wrong. He just left North Melbourne. That's all he did. Like
it's half banter and half it just comes with the territory. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
but
as long as there's no racism going on, I don't mind booing. You know what I mean? As long as it's racist free.
Yeah,
and it's not personal attacks on personal life sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's all okay. So
yeah. Well, I know it's okay, but I just don't. There's people that are bullying him that are not even North Melbourne fans. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think it's silly.
It's just a part of the game, booing. You know what I mean? It's a boo.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's like you're just booing a kid. Like, what? Do people know that what it can do to people's mental state? Like, you know what I mean? He's 19 years old. Like, give the kid a break. But if they want to boo, I'm not saying don't boo. I'm just saying, think about why you're booing for. People just boo because they're dickheads. So
as long as there's no online bullying going on or racial slurs and all that sort of stuff.
How would you feel? Like everyone's telling him about ice baths and this and that. And some of that's not even true. So, you know what I mean? So, as I said to you, as I said in this start, embrace the booing and take it on and, let that be a fire for you. Because that last quarter, that's what that was, man. Because you could hear the boos, right? So, I think Ken Hinkley told him, go do what you do, you do best. Don't let these boos get to you. And what did he do? He played the best quarter he's played in the last 3-4 weeks. So
I didn't hear any booing because Chris was just yelling too loudly, and I couldn't hear any booing. So
we have the volume on the TV down.
Where did this booing come from? All I saw was empty seats in Adelaide Oval.
Oh, take it easy. It was raining, man, you idiot.
Some guy from North Melbourne just sitting in the crowd in the wet.
There was this one bloke sitting in the crowd
just booing.
There was 40-something thousand there, but they were not in the seats. So
there might have been 45,000 outside the ground there somewhere, just roaming the streets.
No, they were undercover, man.
What are you counting? Seagulls in the stadium?
Mate, you're just jealous, man, that we got big crowds. You're just jealous. And you're just jealous that you never see Tops again.
He bought every time.
But anyway, got some chats here.
Any chats?
Try and wipe the smile off C's face. Yeah, you can't wipe it off. Every decision was worthy of a job review. Don't me reckons I boo everyone. And Chris Beach reckons, how does what JF did to North Melbourne affect the 17 other sides? Only North Melbourne technically have the right to do that even then. Yeah, I agree.
It's strange. It's
it
strange that
is
it's not
strange.
North Melbourne booing and it's everybody else. So it's just a bit
It's-
weird. It is weird.
I mean, don't
bit
have
of
me
both.
boos him because he plays for Port along with 20 odd other players there. Yeah, true, fair enough. And you reckon only 4.5k max? You're fucking on drugs, mate. They were under the tarps. Yeah, probably they were under the tarps. Well, I would have been
Under
under
the
the tarp
tarps.
because
It was just
sing down.
it was the tarps whistling, booing from the wind. It was-
Yeah, maybe. Perhaps. Anyway, enough of the tarp jokes. What do you think of Bulldogs, man? They still looked okay in patches.
Yeah, they're okay.
Yeah, I still don't think they're going to reach the finals. I've said it all
They're
year.
gonna. It's gonna be tough. I agree with you, Johnny.
I think Port's got a glimmer of a hope, I think, but I still want to see more from Port.
Yeah.
They're just getting over the line, you know what I mean? So,
I mean, that was a tough.
happy for you. I'm happy for you, Chris, and congratulations. And so
It
Thanks,
was pissing down. Like it
Yeah,
was.
it's hard. I mean,
it
a
was
game like
torrential
that,
rain,
a game like
so,
that could have. Yeah, it's hard to like blow out big games like in that weather. But
Yeah.
I just think it was a good performance, and just to come out and do what they did in that last quarter. Yeah. So Port will finish 12th.
Classic.
Port will finish 12th. That's what Don't Have Me reckon. So
that's why I put. I think I tipped them 12th. So
I put them in.
what about you, Chris? Is
10th.
Is Port making finals, Chris? Yes or no?
I reckon just.
So that's a yes. King and off.
I think if they can stay consistent and play 4 quarters, then I think yes.
I think we've said yes to more than 8 teams. So is that there should be a 10?
Yeah,
10
we've got about
team.
17 teams in the top 8.
We did the mathematics on this squad.
Exactly. Yeah. It's only round 5, Johnny, so we can say whatever we like. So.
Yeah, they're making finals. We got 20 team finals.
I think they can. I think they can, but yeah, it's gonna be tough. The Dogs, yeah, I don't think so. Oh, they could sneak in as well, but I don't know.
They're showing patches, aren't they?
They are. They've got a good look. Their clearance work was amazing. Like they're in the midfield. You can tell they've got a real good midfield.
On paper, they've got the best one of the best midfields, man.
They do. Yeah,
I know. So
and Port's midfield is going to be, if they don't lift their game, that's going to be your problem for the year. If your midfield doesn't step up and start playing really well, then you're in a bit of trouble, because they weren't anywhere to be seen. Like even when you're winning the ruck, the Bulldogs were getting the ball. So
yeah. Yeah, no, they're a good side, man. So they're a good midfield. So a lot of teams do struggle against the Bulldogs in the midfield, but when the game was up for grabs, our midfield stood up. So that's what counts. And if they can replicate that again and again, then they're going to win more games. So
I don't think Ollie Wines is in best form. He's still got some work to do. So he got a lot of touches on the. He got a lot of possessions, but he's just making a lot of mistakes. So something's not right there.
Yeah, no, well done, Port, and
there we go.
They've got through the five rounds, and now it's getting a bit more easier. So anyway, we'll move on to the next one. So this game was earlier today. The first game.
I watched this game, actually.
It was the Cats versus the Eagles, and it was a bit of a blowout. 40-something points there?
But it could have been way worse, this game. It could have been way worse.
37 points, was it?
47, I think.
47.
Oh, really? 21-10, was it? Far out. 21-10.
136 11-89, yeah.
Wow.
So, look, I expected Geelong to win this one. I didn't watch it. I was at a Greek Easter function. Tell us all about it, Johnny G.
At time, you'd think it was going to be, a 20-goal win here, but West Coast actually made a game of it in the second half. I think they even outscored them in the second half. So, Good on
Really?
West Coast for coming. Yeah, so they only kicked 3 goals in the first half, West Coast, to 14 to Geelong, sorry. They blew them out the water in the first half.
Yeah.
But then West Coast came and kicked 10 goals in the second half to Geelong only kicked 7. So it actually won the second half of the game.
There you go.
It's a big effort for them, losing so many points at halftime to come out and put a performance in, not to be absolutely embarrassed. So they can put their heads up high about that. But, you know, Cameron again getting 4 goals, Hawkins 4 goals, and
They're good, aren't they?
Close getting another 4 goals. So
How many positives did Cameron get?
Cameron actually got 18 positives with his 4 goals, but it wasn't even not many major ball winners there. Stewart and Dangerfield had decent games, but look, we all expected, like you said, Geelong to win this and win comfortably. They could have won by a lot more, but they may have put their foot off the gas in the second half.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Geelong get a couple easy wins on the trot now. So maybe put their
Hawthorn have woken the beast.
Yeah, so maybe they're back on track.
It's always the way with these guys, man. They're like,
they play some easy games and maybe get some momentum back for the Cats.
They did, yeah.
Well, yeah, good on for the Eagles for coming back and giving it a good red hot go. But the Cats. Where do I see them? I think they're still going to make finals. I don't think they're going to be top 4, but definitely in the finals. I think they're going to be too hard to beat. That's
the 12th team.
Hey?
The top 12.
The top 12. The 12 teams.
The top 12. That's right. Eagles are still building. They've still got some class players, but I just think they're not.
They're definitely. We can put them out of the top 4. Top
They're
top
not making finals.
They're not making finals.
Put them down there with the Gold Coast Suns and a couple of others. So,
that's it. Yeah. All right. Sorry, guys. All right, 2 more games to go.
Yeah.
So the Giants versus the Hawks. This was, mate, not a nail biter finish. I actually thought that the Hawks were going to win that one. But he got saved on the line. Jarman Impey went for a goal. A Giants player reached out, touched it, and basically they win. So, what a tight game that was.
Yeah, I didn't actually see these last 2 games, lads. So if you
I didn't see it either.
I watched the end of the GWS game, and it was just it was just.
So they've kicked more goals. They've kicked more goals than GWS and lost. So
because they had more behinds. So
more behinds. That's a lot of behinds. 17 behinds. That's a lot of behinds.
Yeah. So I think GWS had a lot of control, and then Hawthorn did come back a lot and kick straight. So it was a cracker game, man. It was a cracker game. Could have gone either way, and Hawthorn had the chance at the end. And unfortunately, just came short. So Hawthorn look, like if you're not playing 100%, and you're a bit off that day, you can be taken out by Hawthorn. So you got to be really careful when you play them. So
Chris Beach is calling it the game of the round. So that's a big statement.
It's the game I missed as well. So it's like,
we watched the wrong watch along.
Yeah, I mean, Warple looked like he had a big game with 35 touches, along with Nash 31 and Newcomb 31 for the Hawks, and the regulars Caniglio and Green and all that had big games for GWS. So
Don't have any worse than you.
Jeremy reckons Carlton game was the game of the round. Of course you do. Of course you do.
Crows, man, 100%.
Yeah.
All right. Any of these teams making the finals, lads?
Don't think so. I think
so.
No.
I don't think so. I think they're out.
We've got to put some teams outside the 8, don't we?
We do.
Nah, GWS were lucky to beat the Crows. So.
All right.
Yep.
Last game of the round. This was a close game as well.
I didn't get to see this one either.
Didn't see this either. No.
Collingwood versus St Kilda. Saints. Collingwood win by 6 points, 10-10, 70 to 9-10, 64. It was Collingwood's game. Collingwood had control of the game for most of it, and then at the end, Saints came back with a flurry. Just could not get the job done at the end, but Collingwood are back.
They stopped St Kilda's run.
St Kilda was undefeated, and now they're not. So, yeah. I mean, it wasn't one of those games where you thought Collingwood playing the best you've ever seen them play, like they did against us at the MCG. But they did enough to win, and that's all that counts. So, St Kilda still look good though. Like when I was watching them, they still look like a team that, you know, if you're not playing your game, man, they could beat you. So,
yep.
Are they making finals though? That's the question. I don't know, but
if they can take it to Collingwood with 6 points, then they're up there.
Yeah, I mean they're top of the ladder still, aren't they? And that loss has sort of made this competition so close. I mean, this competition's shaping up to be, you know, percentage is going to cost people's finals this year.
Sure will.
So you got to be on your game to get, you know, when you're winning those games, you've got to kill off those teams for percentages to make sure. Like, look, for instance, Port, you know, are equal points now with the top 8, but because they're on 92.8 percentage, that could hinder them big time for finals time. So
that's it.
It's going to be a tight season by the looks of it, and yeah, it's bunching up nicely.
It is, and Collingwood were good. My check was good. How many posies did Dacos get?
I think Dacos ran amok again. I'll just double check, but I'm pretty sure he got a huge game.
Well, he would have to be up there. He would have to be up there for the Brownlow, wouldn't he?
He got 42 touches, man.
42 touches.
Yeah, that's massive, man.
20. He's got 27 kicks. That was like nearly more than any other possession.
That's huge. That's.
You need to put him in the in your top 4 bets, Johnny G. This bloke.
Oh, mate. I always think he's averaging 36 disposals this year.
Wow, that's massive
for a second-year player.
Wow.
Don't at me reckons Geelong is sitting on a beautiful percentage, 119. Thanks a lot, man. You have to bring that up, didn't you?
That was clever.
42 touches and over 100 meters gained. There you go.
Wow, that's massive.
I mean,
and when do they get their ruckman back?
I think he's got a serious injury. I think it's about 6 or 7 weeks. Maybe
he's out for a while, is he?
I think that's what's made them a bit vulnerable, Collingwood. I think without their ruckman, they're a bit shaky. So,
yeah.
And no wonder these players coming back into St Kilda are going to make him better because, you know, they played better without him by the looks of it. So
yeah, they got a lot of players that are out. So
Judo Walsh back into that team as well. You know, so
it's going to be interesting. So what do you reckon, guys?
I reckon both teams make the finals. You know, the finals of 15 teams.
That's right.
Giving a tick to both of them.
Yeah, I agree. And
that's for sure.
Well, we finished. That's all the games for the gather round. I'll quickly share the ladder before we do our tipping and get out of here. So what a round that was. Here's the ladder. So Saints are on top, Essendon a second, Collingwood a third, Carlton have dropped to 4th, Sydney have come up to 5th, Melbourne are 6th, the Crows are 7th, and the Lions are 8th. So that's your top 8 there, guys.
Crows have got a healthy percentage. It's good.
They do. 118, which is good. Not like he's on 119. I'll be upset. And then the bottom 10 is Port is 9th, Geelong is 10th, Geelong are 10th, 11th are Freo, 12th are GWS, 13th are North Melbourne, Western Bulldogs, Richmond are 15th, Gold Coast are 16th, the Eagles are 17th, and the Hawks are down the bottom. So any surprises there, guys?
I think Richmond down at 15th is a little bit of a shocker. Geelong, not being in the top 8 as well. If you say that at the start of the year, you're probably shocked. But it's the biggest shocks of all is probably St Kilda and Essendon being up the top.
100%. Yeah. Well, not only do we do this show, but we do a tipping comp, and I'll quickly show the tipping comp, guys. So first is Amanda Dougie on top, still on top.
Well done.
She got 7. KP going for number 3.
Wow. For a man who hates football.
Correct. Jimbo Limbo, Jimmy T is 5th. You got Front Bums at 8th. He was at the top before, and then go to the next page, which
we're all on the next page.
I'm not. Jazzman is gone 11th. GT23 12th. Alia 15th. You got King of the North 16th. What happened to you, man? You were first at one point.
Yeah,
jeez, I'm falling down the ladder. I'm a bit like Auckland.
I'm 7 behind Dougie, man. What the?
Your team thoughts is 19th. I mean, it is what it is, guys. You can't always win them. And then the real bottom of the ladder, this is where the cool kids hang out.
Equal bottom, mind you, Chris.
Well, I don't understand this because he got 3. The wise guy, Dan, got 3, but saying he's got 4 doesn't make sense. I'm going to ring up ESPN and see what's going on there. But Disaster Dale was on the bottom. I actually went up to 23. I was 24 before, so I'm happy with that. Well, yeah, guys. Well done to Amanda. She's smashing it. And yeah, guys. Yeah. Now, next week is going to be a huge week. Starting off the tipping. We got the first game. I think it's Friday night. No Thursday night games. Here we go. No Thursday night games. So, what are we going to do on Thursday nights?
I don't know.
Anyway, Freo versus the Dogs. What are you guys liking here?
Oh, man. It's in Perth, man. That makes it tough being in Perth. In Melbourne, it probably is an easy tip for me for Bulldogs, but in Perth, it makes it 50-50 for me.
Yeah. I'm going to go...
I'm leaning the Dogs. I don't know why, but I'm leaning the Dogs.
What do you reckon, Chris?
Yeah, I think the Dogs as well. I don't think Freo's that good.
Yeah, I'm going Dogs as well, just for now.
They're gonna have a big crowd. They're gonna have a big crowd support, but I think the Bulldogs will want to get a bit of revenge back on their loss. So
yeah. I'm going the Dogs as well.
I think you wouldn't be surprised if Freo win this, though.
Nah, of course not.
Oh, look at this easy game next. Jesus.
Oh man, here we go. Port Adelaide versus the Weagles.
The Weagles.
In Port Adelaide, at home again.
Look, they always struggle against the West Coast Eagles. Like, you've only won 1 game in Adelaide Oval ever since we've moved there. So, it's always tough. But I think Port Adelaide are going to be too good for the West Coast Eagles. I think we'll smash them.
Yeah, I think Port win. If you don't win this, season's over. Forget finals.
Eagles by 60, right. Dan Rankins.
That's right. Eagles by 60. Far out.
Of course.
I hope so, Dan. I hope so. I would forfeit the tip.
Johnny, can you not tip them, please?
Well, look, this year I've never got a game of Port's right in my tipping. Either way I've picked. It's always like... I might as well pick Port so Port don't win.
No, I need you. You're like the guy that makes them win or lose, please.
That's it.
Who are you going for, King?
I'm going for Port Adelaide by 600.
Damn, 600. Far out. How many days are they going to play for?
A few days. It's a long trip. It's a long drive back to Western Australia.
Oh, God. All right. So we got that one. So I think, Port for me. Wait, this is certainly of the round. West Coast are terrible. Port to smash them. Chris Beach. Thank you, Chris Beach. You're a legend. Next game is the Giants versus the Lions at GWS Stadium. What do you guys reckon?
Probably Brisbane, but I'm not 100% confident, but Brisbane should win after the way they played.
GWS plays well at
Yeah, that's the thing, you know what I mean? But Brisbane at the moment for me.
What do you reckon, Chris?
I reckon that Brisbane have found a bit of form, and they'll probably go on with it and give Giants a bit of a towel up.
I'm going to go probably just a bit different. I'll go GWS, but they could change. Oh yeah, GWS for me, just because of the home advantage. So,
yeah.
All right, next one is
grand final replay.
Grand final replay. The Cats versus Swans. It is at the Cattery in Geelong. I just think Geelong won't lose a game at the Cattery. So for that reason and that reason alone, I think Geelong takes it. They just don't lose that. They just never lose there, man. So
they don't, do they?
Nah. But Sydney is a good opposition team. So
if this was in Sydney, you'd pick Sydney straight away, wouldn't you?
100%, yeah. Just because it's there at Geelong.
Oh man, Goffy, what do you reckon?
This is going to be a cracker, I reckon, of a game. If Sydney can reproduce the last quarter again, it's going to be very close. I'm thinking Sydney, but not confidently.
Yeah, I agree with Goffy, man. I'm leaning Sydney just because how quick they can be, man. And I think Geelong can be slow.
Should we get Dougie's opinion? Sydney or Geelong? She's the top of the ladder, so Geelong or Sydney at Geelong?
I've already put my tips in.
She already put her tips in.
She already put her tips in?
Did she already?
Sydney. She went for Sydney.
Oh,
that could be a good thing.
Oracle spoken.
There you go. So don't let me reckon Swan's easy. No Selwood, no Geelong. Geelong's beaten Hess. There you go.
Yeah.
Sure has. All right. Next game is the Hawks versus the Crows. Oh, okay. Ooh, yeah, a bit of food booze. Where is this? MCG?
Nah, this is Tasmania.
Tasmania. Oh man, that makes it worse.
Wow.
The Hawks play well at Tasmania.
They do play well at Tasmania,
They do.
I mean, this is the game that the Crows could drop, eh?
Well, you don't have to ask me who I'm tipping, so.
Yeah, we know who you're tipping. But after what I saw with the Crows, I can't go against the Crows, especially against the Hawks. But I reckon it's not going to be as easy as you guys think. So
these are the games that the Crows are going to have to really win to, like, if they're going to be top four, then, and I think they will be.
Wow.
They're going to get away from home, and I was impressed. I was very impressed with them on the weekend. So I think they'll give Hawthorn a toweling up, and they need to, because they need to continue on their march. So
100%. Crows by 600.
I'm not buying a scarf or anything, but
No, don't buy a scarf, but don't out me reckons Crows by a minimum 60. I reckon it'll be a 147-point win. 147.
147-point win.
You're a wise guy, Con.
I hope he's right.
147 win. All right. Well, we all go for Crows, but I think it's going to be closer than we think, just because of Tasmania. Anyway, let's move on.
This game's disgustingly hard too.
I'm going to try and crack a few. I'm going to try and crack a few tickets for this one. So
the Blues versus the Saints.
This is going to be massive.
At Marvel, they both love playing.
At Marvel, yeah. This is going to be a massive game. I'm going to put me dibs in tomorrow morning and say Give me one at least. One ticket.
Carlton have to win this game, eh? They don't want to lose
They have
two on the
to.
shot.
No, they have to. It's Carlton's home ground. It's going to be a Carlton crowd. It's going to be manic. I'm hoping I can get there. And I'm going to tip
That's going to
Carlton.
be a really good game, that one. Because Carlton play a really attacking footy and St Kilda play really defensive. So it's going to be like, oh, man. I don't know why, but my head is saying Saints for some reason. It's saying Saints.
I'm going Saints as well because who have Carlton really beaten? You know what I mean? They got smashed by the Crows. They beat North Melbourne. They beat GWS. They just beat Geelong when they were pretty bad, and they drew to Richmond, who haven't been very good this year.
Yep.
So I'm going to Saints.
This is where Carlton have to stand up and go, we are the real deal.
Exactly.
Like Goffey said, this is going to be a blockbuster, I reckon.
This will be.
It will be.
Yep. I like Carlton, so I hope they win. Because I'm not a big Saints fan, but I don't know. I've got Saints in my head for some reasons. Yeah. But then again, if you look at my tipping, you can see how shit I am. So don't go by what I say. Chris Beach reckon this one has me nervous. I'm not gonna lie. There you go, guys. The Carlton man himself, Chris Beach, is nervous. So
look,
stick with the plan, Chris. Stick with the team. It's all good. Got to throw yourself in the deep end. So same as Para, you keep on betting on Para.
Goff, your head was going crazy there on my screen for a second.
He can't fathom that I said the Saints, so I might win. You know, he's like tripping out.
Oh, freaking out.
I'm not confident Chris Beach on the Saints. By the way, I think Carlton a big shout here. So
it's a 50-50 one. Like you just don't know.
I think the way they played against the Crows, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. It was an off day for them as well. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, Chris, you went Carlton or Saints?
Carlton.
I'm going Saints. So
this next game's even tough as well, man.
This next game, the Suns versus the Rules at Gold Coast.
I'll jump in on. I'll start this one. I'm gonna stick with home ground form for the Gold Coast Suns. They play well up there, and they knocked over Geelong at home. So I'm gonna stick with them to knock over North Melbourne and continue the pain for North Melbourne for another couple of weeks.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And Gold Coast at home.
Yeah, I'm not going. Yeah, sorry, keep going.
They're probably eyeing off this game as a good chance for them to get a win. So, yeah, wouldn't be surprised if North get up, but yeah, Gold Coast.
I'm going the Suns as well, just because they are playing at home, and North Melbourne pissed me off this week. So,
not going to tip him.
I'm not tipping him. No.
Whatever tip Chris does, tip against it.
Yeah, basically, yeah. All right, next one. This is a tough one as well, but
here's another cracker as well, and the other one, the last one's a cracker as well. So
both teams will be desperate as to win this one.
I reckon Melbourne bounce back here. I think they're too good of a team not to bounce back, and Richmond have got too many injuries. Melbourne.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to pick Richmond here, isn't it?
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think that if Revolt's out with that gash and the head injury, then yeah, they're in trouble. But yeah, I think Melbourne's got to bounce back. Yeah,
no Nav Curtis, no Lynch, no Rewalt. There's going to be no Richmond, man. It'll be Melbourne.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a Tuesday game.
Yeah, it's because it's Anzac Day.
Because of the public holiday. Anzac Day.
Anzac Day clash. There you go.
Yeah.
So, did everyone go Melbourne for that one?
Yeah.
Yep.
We all did. Yep.
All right. So the next one is the Anzac Day clash between the Pies and the Bombers.
This is going to be a cracking game.
Oh man, what do you do with this?
It's a monster game.
third versus second, it's going to be all on this one,
See,
isn't it?
if Essendon had lost to Melbourne, it'd be a lot easier.
Yep.
But
Essendon love playing this game. They love Anzac Day.
They do. Yep.
you know what? I think the Bombers, guys. I think they could do it.
Hey, look, man, it's not a silly tip. You know what I mean?
No.
Collingwood aren't indestructible. They're not immortal.
No, they're not.
No.
They're not. And they haven't got their ruckman. And
Look, I'm leaning towards Collingwood at the moment, but my mind's not made up yet. So I'm leaning towards Collingwood.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Johnny. I'm going to stick with I'm going to stick with Collingwood because it's at the MCG.
Yeah, but Essendon plays at the MCG a lot, don't they? Nah, more.
Yeah,
Marvel.
they play better at Marvel than they do at the MCG. But Collingwood. Collingwood dominate at the MCG.
Don't Amy reckons Essendon. Chris Beach reckons a draw, and it's going to be in front of a 100,000 people crowd.
Wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised.
Look, man, don't at me. I'm not confident at Collingwood at all, man.
No.
I think Essendon got a huge shout in this game. Huge shout.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if I've tipped Essendon on the final hour before the game starts.
Oh, jeez. Well, guys, that is the tips, and that is the end of the show. Thanks for coming in, guys. Thanks, the King of the North,
Great
as
show.
always. Thank you for coming in.
King of the North.
Love the
No
footy.
worries. Thanks, guys, and thanks to the two full Greek guys tonight for getting through the podcast on a full stomach. I could see Chris and Johnny have been struggling with the food intake.
You can't see my bottom half when I'm just in
No,
my
I
job.
know.
Just in the job.
I've just been watching Chris just struggling all through the whole thing.
I'm struggling, man. I'm struggling big time. But no, good fun today. But guys, make sure you check out our merch, hfdmerch.myspreadshop.com.au. You get all your hats, your hoodies, your mugs, everything you want. HFD, go check it out. It helps us out. So yeah, check that out. And we'll be back next week for probably another watch along. Don't forget, Johnny G is back with the 10K in 10 bets. Hopefully we get it.
I think me and KP are doing a watch along on Friday night actually at the house.
Well, there you go. KP's back in action, guys. So you get to see KP and see what he's up to. And also, we're going to do a podcast probably Wednesday. So stay tuned for all those goodies. But yeah, as I said, man, if you're brand new to the show, make sure you like, share.
So we're getting a watch along on the afternoon with you two with Port and the West Coast 1:15 or what?
I might be actually going to the game. So if you guys want to do a watch along, I'll be there. I can do it with the phone if you want.
I'll be at work, so I'm hard this weekend. So
yeah, fair enough. But no, it was a good show, guys. Thanks for coming in. Don't forget to do your tipping. Don't at me. Hold on.
Does he forget?
He always forgets. That's why he's always losing. So yeah, Dan, make sure you remember your tipping. Everyone, make sure you like and share this video to all your friends. And don't forget, go the Power. If you want to say go the Crows, you can.
Yeah, it's just a given, isn't it?
And go the Blues.
Yeah, and guys, remember, stay hunky, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys. Peace out.
Take care. See you next.